Welcome back and welcome to the weekend. Unfortunately, it's going to be a stormy start to the weekend and then a chilly finish. But tomorrow, we're keyed in on the threat of severe weather early in the morning, pre-dawn hours through the early to mid-morning, and then by the afternoon things will be quieting down, but still maybe a few renegade showers. We'll show you that coming up in just a bit. Big picture though, as we look across the lower 48, we have this low pressure way up in the high plains producing big snows across the plains into the Midwest and maybe up to a foot or two of snow. Then that strong cold front that is producing severe weather this evening from portions of Missouri all the way back down through Arkansas and into eastern Texas, and now a good chunk of Louisiana as well. And over the last few hours, we've seen severe thunderstorm warnings, even a tornado warning for portions of Arkansas, a large severe thunderstorm warning for a squall line that's more than likely going to impact northern Louisiana. And then we're going to be watching the tail end of this. That's going to be whipping on through into Louisiana and portions of Acadiana as we get closer to daybreak. Now, just before we went to air tonight, new tornado watch issued by the Storm Prediction Center. That's in effect till 6 o'clock in the morning. It includes Rapides, Beauregard, and Vernon parishes in the counties in eastern Texas. And I would expect more severe watches, either tornado watches or severe thunderstorm watches, later on tonight for first thing tomorrow morning. So we'll be watching that over the next several hours. Near term, not a whole lot going on in the watch area. We have a couple of isolated showers showing up, but nothing that's going to turn severe, at least in the next hour or so. Farther north and west there, you got that squall line in Texas by Tyler down through Crockett, damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour with that storm, and then a couple of severe storms as we get into the northern part of the state. One by El Dorado, that one in Arkansas, and then the one in the extreme northeastern part of the state, north and east of Bastrop, just to the west of Lake Providence. You can see all the lightning, and when you see a lot of pluses, that normally means wind damage. Normally, lightning is negatively charged, meaning it actually initiates from the ground and goes up into the sky. When you see a lot of positives, that more than likely means there's some very strong updrafts and downdrafts, and that's why there's probably damaging winds with that cell. So here's the severe weather risk overnight tonight. It's most dangerous in a moderate category, northwestern Louisiana into Arkansas, but as we shift to tomorrow morning, we see much of Acadiana in a slight risk area. That means a 15% chance of storms that could produce damaging winds within a 25-mile radius of any point in the shaded area. Primary risk, damaging winds, maybe some hail, and possibly a few tornadoes, especially as we get into eastern portions of Acadiana, as we get into lower St. Martin Parish and then into St. Mary Parish, and then points to the east, all in an enhanced risk area through eastern Louisiana. So this is how it's going to play out. First off, the threat of heavy rainfall, mainly east of the region, 2 to 4 isolated 6 in the area shaded in green, but none of Acadiana in a flood watch area. But we could see a few isolated spots, see up to 3 inches. So here we go, hour by hour on the predictive radar. All the action in the northwestern part of the state through the early morning hours. Then it'll be knocking on Acadiana's door right around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then as we get to 5 o'clock in the morning, the model's been back and forth by an hour or two. So give us an hour or two on this. But strong storms moving through much of Acadiana, 6 to 7 a.m. across portions of Lafayette Parish. Still raining at 8 a.m. Stronger storms. It looks like we see an uptick in activity. We'll talk more about this in a second through 9 a.m. and then 10 a.m. Strongest storms just about clearing Morgan City and severe weather threat Baton Rouge over toward New Orleans. And then by lunchtime, things quiet down, but we could see a few renegade showers following that into tomorrow afternoon. Here's Helicity. I've talked about this and showed this online on Facebook and Twitter talking about it. Helicity is the potential for tornadoes. It has to do with shear as you go up aloft, as the winds increase aloft, and a cyclonic updraft factor. So we look for red, and this is where the risk of tornadoes will be. Eastern Texas, western Louisiana through midnight tonight. Then things might quiet down with respect to tornado potential as we lose the daytime heating overnight. But notice we start to see some red showing up 5, 6 o'clock in the morning as we get closer to St. St. Mary Parish. So we'll have the squall line here, but individual storm cells, if they develop down by southern, lower St. Martin and St. Mary Parish, they could see a tornado spin up. So that's what we will be on the lookout for. Here's Futurecast indicating the front will be pushing on through quickly. Timing looks very similar. Maybe a shower late tomorrow afternoon, but not likely. We clear out tomorrow night. Then it turns markedly chillier as we go into Sunday morning. Temperatures in the 40s and wind chills lower 40s to upper 30s. Rainfall totals, we're looking at about an inch or two of rain. Most spots, isolated areas may see up to 3. It looks like heavier rains keying in to the north and then also off to the east. So not concerned with flooding with this one. Breezy and mild tonight, quiet until late. Then pre-dawn, strong storms developing. 50% northwestern sections of Acadiana. We stay in the 70s tonight. Our high will be roughly at about 7 a.m. tomorrow, 73 degrees, then dropping into the 60s. Your rain chance at 100%. Wind damage main concern, but we can't rule out a few tornadoes in the area, so we'll watch that. Sunday, a perfectly normal day for mid-January with highs in the lower 60s, lows lower 40s through Monday morning, then a gradual warm-up. Much of next week looks very nice. And then we could see storms again next weekend, particularly Saturday night.
Keeping you busy.